Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we have the Nabalis Kenyan. This thing is absolutely cracked. I'm literally just going to come out and say it. This is the best Balisong to start on. It is the best budget Balisong, and probably the best beginner Balisong when it comes to original designs, affordable prices, good shipping, and, good design, to be honest. It is really in a league of its own. Even when competing with clones, to be honest. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. If you enjoy the video, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share the video. Consider becoming a member. Leave a comment down below. I like reading you guys' comments. I like answering you guys' comments and all that good stuff. So, please do feel free to support the channel in any way you can. This is available on nabalis.com whenever there's a drop, or on the secondhand market. And that's Nabalis spelled like this, Nabalis.com. And yeah, getting into it, right? When you unbox this dude, right, you get some pivot hardware and some pivot needle thing, T10 screws, T10 hardware here. Really fantastic stuff. Really good value for money. And you get a cool box. It's a bit gimmicky of a box, but it's a cool box nonetheless. And I didn't get the box since this is on a temp trade, but this is a very, very interesting Balisong. Coming out with tolerances. I mean, I've not got it freshly lubed or anything, but it's a little bit of wiggle, right? And a little bit of play. But honestly, considering it's a pinsless, all stainless steel construction, there are 2 screws to worry about here, and it's mainly 3 parts, right? This, and this, right? And of course, this is the false edge, this is not an actual blade. This thing is absolutely fantastic in terms of how it flips, right? So even with the tolerances being, there are better in the price range, but in terms of from an original design, there aren't. When it comes to actual flipping performance, since I know that's what you guys are really interested in, I've heard Blade Bias describe it as it flips kind of weird, and so he flips between this and the Volp being his recommendation for best beginner Balisong. Honestly, for £20-30 more, I don't care what the Volp is made of. I don't care who it's designed by. Obviously, no shade to Will Hirsch or anything, right? Like, I'm not trying to bash the Volp because of designers or anything. But honestly, I don't think there is better value than this. I know Nabalis also make the Volp. And if you want to support Will, go for it. But the Nabalis Canyon, it chaplains. So, that's already better than the Volp, right? This will do fanning. And so I find as you become a better of a flipper, you will prefer this to the Volp more. So maybe the Volp is more immediately beginner friendly in terms of, the handle bias. But this thing is still light handle bias, and it's handle bias enough that you can still do all your beginner tricks, right? Right, there's nothing on here that you can't do. And it'll still do, more intermediate to advanced tricks. Talking about like choker fans and, like Rev 8 balls and stuff like that. And, scissors will probably also do. Okay, if I could catch a scissor, that would be nice. Okay, wrong handle, but, it'll still do your scissors. Okay, messed it up. One thing I will notice is on this acid wash version, it is quite smooth, quite slick. It is grippier than aluminium for sure. However, than titanium, not so much. So it's more slippery than titanium, but definitely I prefer it to the aluminium feel. The feel in the hands is honestly just more premium than it actually is in terms of when you're talking about price. How well do the screws stay in place? That's a good question. If we quickly just come here and try and tighten these. I mean, they seem like they're pretty well in place. That's not going to work, but for a sound test. Really bouncy, really awesome. Honestly, for 40 quid, this thing is actually insane. Can you imagine where we'd be today as a community if we had these? Like, you know, the Canyon, whether it be the trainer or the false live blade. If you want more beginning friendly, grab the trainer, right? This guy can still... Oh, yeah. And I know what the guy was saying, who I traded this off of, when it comes to catching knuckle dusters. Yeah, that's a really mean tip. Yeah, to catch the other side. Ooh. Yeah, that's not fun. I don't know why I'm trying to catch the opposite handle. I should just be going just for that one. But yeah, no, this thing is super nice. Really, really clean. Neutral handle biasy feel. It's actually quite neutral if you look at a like this kind of test. With a light handle bias, however, the balance is quite end weighted due to the density of stainless steel. And honestly, that makes it flip really fantastically. It feels more akin to something like from Machine Wise than necessarily something like the Alpha Beast here. Yeah, almost similarly into terms of how it carries momentum to a Machine Wise product, especially considering, you know, the Serif, which can I just say, absolutely goated. Dalen, you're doing good work. This thing, ridiculous. But it carries weight really nicely. I think the one thing I would say I can understand what would be potentially weird. Oh, I look very orange there. Is the blade has quite a bit of spine weight here, especially like here. And you do kind of notice it in fans. It's not that it drags, but it's more like the weight of the handles is concentrated in the ends, whereas the weight in the blade isn't as outwards concentrated. And that's something that, you know, you just kind of feel, which is probably what Blade Bias was describing as weird, because sometimes it feels like the blade has a different distribution geometry to the handles, similar to the Zippy V2.5 Kraken trainer. And honestly, I understand why that would potentially get in the way for some people, but if you've never flipped a Balisong before, you won't notice it, and if you do move to other Balisongs, you'll probably just think, oh, they flip better than this, they're more refined. It's nothing that is a deal breaker in any way whatsoever, but it is definitely something that once you become a bit more experienced of a flipper, especially if you're like me and you get to try out quite a few Balisongs, you know, it is something that you'll probably end up catching on to. And despite that, I still think this is absolutely fantastic. 40 quid, when I got into the hobby, you could get a CCC or like get ripped off on a CSGO knife, realistically, right? You know, the peak of 40 quid when I got into the hobby was this, all right? This guy here, that was about 40 quid. And I mean, this is also stainless steel, so I guess it's not moved that far. Wow, that thing is a brick. But this being also 40 quid now, absolutely ridiculous. The stainless is actually not very heavy in comparison to some other knives. Yeah, it's heavier than this, right? It's going to be heavier than quite a few aluminium knives. But honestly, comparing it to titanium knives like Tsunami and the Snowflake, it's heavier than the Snowflake. The Snowflake is 113 grams. But like, really? This with the spaces taken out, the balance is completely different on this guy, but actual weight-wise, it just feels more end-weighted. Honestly, I really, really like how this is done. This is done absolutely phenomenally. There is really not much I could say to add to this, especially for the price. You know, I cannot sing its praises enough. I'm not paid by Nabalis or anything to do this. I just wanted to try this. I've been well and truly surprised. The handle gap, I'm not sure how long this will last, but it's stainless on stainless, so longer than the squiddy, in my opinion. Stainless is a much harder material, and through work hardening, I imagine it'll probably work harden sooner. I washed my hands a little while ago, and that makes this thing feel quite slick. So I think maybe if you have quite damp hands, this might not be the favorite in terms of grippiness. However, honestly, this thing is still quite phenomenal. It is one of these where I am tempted to try and get one for my collection. Whether I get it in acid wash or regular, I think maybe the regular might look a little cleaner. Just the stone wash, but I do quite like the acid wash. This looks clean. This reminds me of my Monarch, to be honest. My Monarch clone was this same color, and this thing is absolutely dope. So just if you have the spare change for one of these guys, really do go get it. It is really fantastic. I will be doing a full review on this guy in the future. This thing is absolutely fantastic. I cannot imagine what's possible once I've seen this. Once this is like titanium, and more commonly titanium, especially with some really cool Thomas design Balisongs happening, or the Hydra? No, not Hydra. The Hydro is the new squid Balisong. Let me know if you want a video about that. What is it called? The Manta is the new Nabalis titanium Balisong. It looks like sandwich, or sandwich construction. That thing looks really cool. I'd love to get one. You know, Nabalis, hit me up. I really like your products. This and your Hydra Blade, fantastic pieces of kit. Really, honestly, grab one if you can. If not, are you missing out on much? If you have more expensive stuff in your collection, not really. But if your collection is small and you want it to grow without spending too much money on it, right? Like without getting something that's, you know, as ridiculous as the Seraph. Oh my word. Oh my word. Yeah, without spending like something like Seraph money, or, you know, just other Balisong money, right? Honestly, do yourself a favor and get yourself a Canyon. It's really, really good for the price. I cannot complain. I might have to get one of these, to be honest, in the future. There's other Balisongs I want more, but this thing is really, really good. Especially, I think everyone should have at least one pinsless Bali in their collection. This is one that is disposable, man. You can beat this. It's stainless. It's going to last longer than your best Balisongs, right? Unless your best Balisong is like a Lucha, in which case that thing is like just a tank. But yeah, really do go try get one of these, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. This guy, really good. I'll see you in a bit. Peace.